God bless you. It's great to connect with you another time, another session, another period of time in which we can spend together. I trust and I hope that your day begun well. You have been blessed at whatever point of the day uh, you may be in at this time. I know that I'm in one particular time zone. There are others who are either 2 hours ahead of us, and that could be in Europe and in the rest of the world, many more hours ahead of us. Or you may be 5, 6, or 8 hours behind, depending on where you're living. Let's say in the Western hemisphere or in the Western side, such as the United States, could be Canada, could be Central and South America, Caribbean. But I trust that the Lord has and is continuing to bless you as you have committed yourself to Him. We are still in the book of Isaiah and we are still in chapter 26. Now we are looking at verses 7, 8, and 9. And this particular session or passage addresses that God levels and smooths the way for His people. God levels and smooths the way for His people. In previous sessions before now, the one before, or in our last session, we looked at God humbles the proud and brings down the arrogant. God humbles the proud and brings down the arrogant. The session before that one was that God provides a solid foundation. God provides a foundation. And who is that foundation anyway? Isn't it the Lord Himself? It is God. So we don't really have to worry or build a foundation for ourselves because one has already been laid down for us. The second one, which was the one before that one, is that God gives His people peace. And not just peace, He gives them perfect peace. If we're in Him and He's in us, if we keep our eyes on Him, then we have that peace, that security. Why? Because in the very first um, portion of this chapter, which is verses 1 and 2, it says that God gives His people a strong city, and the walls and the bulwarks and all that. It tells us that that makes up that city is salvation, because we have been saved, because we have repented, because one repents and has given themselves over to the Lord, submits themselves to Him and to His word, then salvation is our city. We are abiding within that city. So if you follow that all the way through till now, we should be, God's people is secure, God's people is safe, God's people are protected, and God's people um, is provided for. He's giving them peace. You can't be in turmoil, but yet you have peace. Or you can't be worried, running for your life, wondering, fretting, and in turmoil, but yet have peace. No. A person who has peace, even they're not worried, so to speak, they're not worried of what is happening on the other side of the wall. They're not too concerned because they know that the walls that's protecting them can stand the onslaught of the enemy. It can withstand the bombs, it can withstand the bullets, it can withstand the missiles that is thrown at it. It's too high for the missiles to go over, because our wall is Christ, isn't it? Our wall is God. He is our protection. He is our salvation. So once we're within the city, then nothing really will come our way or can hurt us. So we have perfect peace. Let's read verses 7, 8, and 9. 3 verses. I'll read from the King James Version. We'll look at the Jerusalem Bible and then the Jewish text. It's interesting to hear how each of these translations really puts across what the Lord is saying to us. And I think, one sometimes puts it across better than the other. Some are just on point, but they're saying the same thing. I don't think it's contradicting. Well, not yet anyway. Anytime we pick up a translation and there seems to be a contradiction somewhere between the 2, the 3, the 4, the 5, because there's so many translations out there. Once there seems to be a contradiction, then we need to really look at that translation. We have to really look at the Bible, because God is not schizophrenic. God does not contradict himself. His word stands the test of time in all things. So anyway, let's read verses 7, 8, and 9, 3 verses on God levels and smooths the way, the pathway for us, for his people. Verse 7 of the 26th chapter of the book of Isaiah. The way of the just is uprightness. Thou, most upright, dost weigh the path of the just. Yea, in the way of thy judgments, O Lord, have we waited on thee. The desire of our soul is to thy name and to the remembrance of thee. Verse 9. With my soul have I desired thee in the night. Yea, with my spirit within me will I seek thee early. For when thy judgments are in the earth, the inhabitants of the world will learn righteousness. That's rich, isn't it? I think that's food for thought. Let's look at the Jewish text. Same 3 verses, 7, 8, and 9. The way of the righteous is level. The way of the righteous is level. Righteous one. You smooth the path for the righteous. Verse 8. Following the way of your judgments, we put our hope in you. The desire of our soul is to remember you and your name. Can I read that again? It's so rich in thought and in meaning here. There's a lot that could be said out of this, and I'm sure you're recognizing that for yourself. Verse 8. Following the way of your judgments, we put our hope in you. The desire of all our soul is to remember you and your name. Verse 9. My soul desires you at night. My spirit in me seeks you at dawn. For when your judgments are here on earth, the people in the world learn what righteousness is. Can I read it again? For when, just the second half of that verse. For when your judgments are here on earth, the people in the world learn what righteousness is. So much there. So much to preach on. I'll say something after I read this if I remember. 7, 8, and 9. The path of the upright man is straight. You smooth the way of the upright. Following the path of your judgments, we hope in you, Yahweh. Your name, your memory are all my soul desires. At night, my soul longs for you, and my spirit in me seeks for you. When your judgments appear on earth, the inhabitants of the world learn the meaning of integrity. Let me read just that the second part of that verse, verse 9. When your judgments appear on earth, the inhabitants of the world learn meaning of integrity. A lot can be said there. And as I remember, and let me say it before I forget, sometimes you wonder when I've heard preachers say they don't know what to preach. But right there within those three verses, just those three, for example, I'm just using this as an example. I'm sure that one can find a message for every Sunday in the year just in those three verses. Isaiah 26. I'm finding Isaiah to be so rich spiritually. And it can also, as I've said, it could fit very, very well within the Gospels. Isaiah, he truly, really was a man of God. Now, I have read this and I've meditated on it a little bit, and there is a verse here that really stands that stands out to me very much. A verse, and I'll just read it to you. I'll just read it and see what you can get out of it. I may not really be able to address all that is there because there is so much there, but verse 7 says a lot to me. As you know, since I've read this, I read it a few days ago, or even sometime last week, as I was reading through these chapters, because unbeknownst to you, at times I read way ahead of where I am, and so I know to some extent what I'll be doing, but at the same time, I have to kind of run ahead of yourselves. But I'm hoping that you're keeping up with me, and I'm not. It's not that I want to leave anyone, because I can't, because I really fully myself don't know the whole of Scripture. I wish I could, or wish I did, but I don't. But verse 7 says, "The way of the just is uprightness. Thou most upright dost weigh the path of the just." That little sentence there caught my attention. Thou most upright dost weigh the path of the just. What the question that I'd like to ask, and I'm not looking for an answer right now, but just something for you to ponder on, just for you to think about. If you wish, you don't have to. I'm not going to test you. I'm not going to quiz you. And you don't have to write anything, but it's just for you to think about what did Isaiah, what was there prompting Isaiah to say what he said there? What do you think Isaiah is saying? And I think it's only by and through the Spirit of the Lord, really, where the revelation of Scripture can and will properly. I've looked, and I'm still scouring, and the reference books and the various resources that is available to me. You may have much more available resources at your fingertips. So I don't think I have much at all. And Isaiah has the commentators and the theologians who have written on this particular chapter. I shared a few things. I don't know if if they're all correct. What I do take from it, but the desire, the thou most upright dost weigh the path of the just, dost weigh the path of the just. It's intriguing about that. But here, this particular passage, we are being told, and straight off in a Jewish text here, Isaiah says, "The way of the righteous is level. Righteous one, you smooth the path for the righteous." So straight off, we are told that God levels and smooths the way for his people. He doesn't want us. There's no reason for us to have uh, ups and downs, probably, or whatever the enemy may place before us, or whatever the enemy may do. There's the Lord is going to go before us and smooth the way, level the way. The way for the righteous will be smooth. That's what Isaiah says. Irrespective of what the enemy may do, if we put our trust in him, if we are within the walls of his protection, if we have found that peace, and perfect peace also. God doesn't, the peace that God gives is not peace that is has to you have to worry or think or contemplate what type of peace is this that God gives. God gives perfect peace. So here, the path of the righteous is made smooth by the Lord. And as the righteous walk through life, obstacles appear in their path. I think we all can think about it. Even with Judah and Israel. Remember, Isaiah wasn't writing it for us. He had no thought. He didn't think that someone like me would be reading the scriptures today. I don't think that ever came to his mind, because he was ministering to Judah. He was the prophet, or he was the servant that God prepared, sanctified his lips, and sent amongst his people. So it was Israel, it was Judah that Isaiah was ministering to. It was, so he was encouraging them that whatever the obstacles may be in life, whatever the problems that would present itself. And one of the biggest problems to God's people at that time during the ministry of Isaiah, in amongst many, the Assyrians were there. I mean, that was a big problem to them, because Assyria wanted to overtake them, or overpower them, or take them captive. They were the world empire, the world power at the time. But Isaiah was saying, put your trust in the Lord. That's what Isaiah was telling them. Put your trust in the Lord. Now, listen, Judah or Israel, they were spiritually, they were fornicating. Spiritually, they were committing whoredoms. They were worshiping idols. They had taken other gods. They were coveting. They were holding malice. They were committing murder. They were doing everything that they were told not to. One of the biggest things also why God had to also move against them, and I use that word against guardedly, because they were his people, or bring judgment, I should say, was because they didn't give the land rest. And Jeremiah was to come shortly after the prophet Isaiah. We're doing it differently, so see with me. But one of the prophets to come after Isaiah to begin to speak is Jeremiah. And Jeremiah, God revealed to him, Jeremiah, about the 70-year judgment, or the 70 years of judgment that God would bring upon his people. Then Daniel came and I've got the understanding of what those 70 years, when those 70 years were going to end. And there was also a very spiritually prophetic utterance that God gave to Daniel in regards to all of that for us and for our day. But Isaiah was encouraging God's people that whatever obstacles that were going to come their way, God was going to make their way smooth. He was going to level the way. He was going to bring down, remember, in the previous verses, God was going to um, bring down the lofty. He was going to humble the arrogant. Isn't that what he said he was going to do? The believer, Israel at the time, look at it within that context. It's not, I mean, it's for us today, yes. I'm saying it is for us also. Very much for us today, and it is also for the future, though, if the Lord tarries, for those also. But for Isaiah, he was addressing this to his people. He was telling them before then to trust in the Lord and to trust forever in the Lord. Verse 4 tells us. So it was an encouraging word. It was meant to encourage God's people. And just as how it was meant to encourage Israel, Judah, to turn away from their idols, to turn away from their sinful ways and lifestyles and desires. So it is for us today to turn away from our sinful desires, to turn away from our sinful ways, to trust in the Lord, because the Lord has provided for us a city. The Lord is going to bring the arrogant and the proud down. He's going to exalt his people. But in order for the people to be exalted, we ourselves have to give ourselves and submit ourselves to the Lord. Yes. So when the Hazards confronted them, serious trials, serious temptations, difficult circumstances, Isaiah says that God will level the path, smooth the way for the righteous to continue on our journey. Many of us, countless hundreds, thousands of believers in Christ could all, I'm sure, give testimonies of the difficulties that they have faced, of the trials that they have had to go through, and through the miraculous hand of God and through his mercies, things have just changed. They don't know how it is. They can't explain. Probably, whoever was there helping or standing by them, just out of sheer friendship, they themselves have said that it is the God of this brother, this sister, the mother, the father, the uncle, the aunt. It is the God of Israel that has stepped in and completely smoothed the path for them. Because it is God who does that. It is God that levels the path, so that whoever is experiencing great trials and temptations, their journey can continue. God does not tell us to start a journey, have problems, have great difficulties, and then we're blocked and we stay there forever and a day, and there's no help coming. No, God, that's not our God. That's not how our God works. Look at the many times Israel, the people of God, it would seem as if they were a dead end. From the time that they were delivered from the land of Egypt, from the hand of Pharaoh, the first obstacle was what? The Red Sea. But just as they approached, the Bible tells that they camped on the side of the river, of the sea. And when everybody was saying and complaining to Moses that he should have left them in Egypt, because they were enjoying the onions and the garlic and the cucumbers and everything like that. As they were complaining, God made a way for them, and their way was smooth, wasn't it? The way was leveled, and they were able to continue on their journey. So it is with us, in our journey in life. Many of you, probably even you yourself, has had problems and many disturbances in your life, marriage probably, family, business, work, at church, whatever, in the community. You've had problems in and out. but yet God has made a way for you that you can continue in your journey. That is why you are here. That is why I am here. That is why countless others are here. Why? Because God, only God. It is not mom, dad. It is not the bishop. It's not some great man. It is not some influential individual that made the way for you. No, it was God. God is the one that made the way for his people. And so Isaiah is telling us, with my soul I desired thee in the night. There has to be a hungering. There has to be a thirsting for the Most High. Isaiah addressed the Lord. He called him the most upright. Because the Lord is upright, because the Lord is righteous, because the Lord is just, he will act in behalf of the righteous. He will make sure that nothing prevents the righteous man from traveling the road he has appointed them to travel. There is a particular path for you. There's a particular path for the one beside you. There's a particular path for me. My path is not yours. Yours is not the path of others. There's a path that the Lord has appointed for us to travel. And he has appointed a path and a road for us to travel. Then why is he going to block or allow roadblocks or allow hindrances to stop you from reaching where he, the Lord, wants you to be? He's going to make a way. It's a pity that Israel did not understand. And we see that. And we're going to hear, we've always seen it, I believe. Some of us may be a bit blind, spiritually, that is. But God makes a way. God always makes a way. Note who the righteous are. Who are the righteous? The righteous are people who obey the judgments or laws of God. The righteous are people who wait patiently on the Lord. The righteous are people who diligently seek, glorify the name of the Lord. And righteous are people who yearn for and seek the Lord. May God bless you. May God bless you. I trust and I hope that as you read this passage, read it, meditate on it, think on it, pray, trust God. Let him be your foundation. Let him be your wall and your bulwarks. Let him be your protection, because he has made the way. He has already smoothed the way for you. He has already removed the arrogant and the proud. It's just a figment of your imagination. He's already moved these. We just need to keep our eyes firmly upon the Lord, because he will take us through. May God bless you. We'll see you in our next session.